Well, it's that time again for another video instalment of Let's Talk Footy on Melbourne's Joy 94.9. My name's Dougal Austin. Unfortunately, John Donohoe and Cale Morton from Let's Talk Footy unable to join us today, so I've been given the hosting role once again. And today, we're in the Harrison Room at the lovely MCG, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, for the official launch of the 2012 AFL Premiership Cup. Now, the CEO of the AFL, Mr. Andrew Demetriou, is yet to arrive, but he, of course, is the man of the moment, and he will be launching the 2012 AFL Premiership Cup alongside Molly Meldrum, who's also going to be speaking to media about his recovery process from his injuries last year. And we're going to try and catch up with both Molly and Andrew a bit later on, but today's all about launching the Premiership Cup and also the grand final pre-match entertainment. Got an email this morning from Patrick Keane, media manager of the AFL, and about the grand final entertainment. It sounds very good. I can't tell you exactly what it is because it's going to be explained all in detail by Andrew a bit later on, but for now, let's take a short break. And we'll come back shortly with the official launch of the 2012 Premiership AFL Cup.
Thank you all for coming. I want to welcome a few people here today. I want to thank the media for being here, but I want to welcome James Slater, the new business manager for Cashes. I want to welcome Scott Thompson, the Toyota divisional manager of national marketing. And we also have an important guest with us today who's seated at the head table. Doesn't require any introduction to the fans who love our game, but I'll detail in a few moments why he is here with us today. Each of our guests will be available for an interview after the proceedings, and we're very pleased to have them here with us this morning. Of course, I think you all know why we're here. This week is the start to the 4 biggest weeks on our calendar, and I'd like to formally welcome everyone today. I'd also like to thank the MCC for hosting us here today in the Harrison Room overlooking the ground on a beautiful spring day. As you look around the MCG, you immediately think of the great moments that have happened out here and those moments that have defined our game. Greatness is the theme of our advertising campaign for the 2012 Toyota AFL Final Series. Let's now have a look at our advertising campaign.
Always to be retold. This is putting an entire stadium on your shoulders. This is a roar reverberating around the stadium and down into your spine. This is what I'm talking about. This is our game. Australia's game. This is September. This is violence. This is greatness.
GWS Giants, as our 18th club, has brought a new fan base to our competition, and the national feel of our league has again been restated in 2012, with 4 Victorian teams in our finals, joined by 1 from New South Wales, 1 from South Australia, and 2 from Western Australia. Only the Queensland sides are unrepresented, but no doubt the Lions have made good progress again this year with 10 wins, and the Suns will improve as their young list develops. And this weekend, just to remind everyone, we will see the following matchups. And they are all mouth-watering. Fixture for week 1 to be restated. Here we go. Friday, here at the MCG, the first qualifying final, Hawthorn versus Collingwood at 7:50 p.m. Saturday afternoon, second qualifying final, the Adelaide Crows versus the Sydney Swans at Amy Stadium at 2:45. We have a cutthroat second elimination final here again on Saturday night, Geelong Cats versus Fremantle at 7:45 p.m. And of course on Sunday, North Melbourne will travel to Western Australia to play the other first elimination final, do or die, West Coast versus North Melbourne at Patterson Stadium at 1:15 p.m. local time. September is a great month, and beginning tomorrow we start to acknowledge those who have starred throughout the 2012 AFL Premiership season. Tomorrow, the NAB AFL Rising Star Award will be presented at Crown Palladium, with a new winner to receive the Ron Evans Medal, and join such luminaries as Nathan Buckley, Ben Cousins, Adam Goods, Nick Revolt and Joel Selwood amongst the past winners, and following on from last year's great winner in Essendon's Dyson Heppel. On Tuesday, September the 11th, the AFL Players Association will present its Most Valuable Player Award, voted upon by the players in the competition and won last year so convincingly by Carlton's Chris Judd. On Monday, September 17, we named the 2012 4 and 20 AFL All-Australian side. The 40 best players of the year will be named later today after a long and arduous selection meeting which I will chair, with the 22-man team of the year named from this group. Being named as an All-Australian is recognition that you were the best player in the competition in your role across the 2012 year. But it's in Toyota AFL Grand Final week that we really ramp up the events. The highest individual honour in football, the Brownlow Medal, will be presented on Monday, September 24. Federation Square will again be the centre of activity through Monday to Friday of Toyota AFL Grand Final week, thanks to the support of the City of Melbourne, with the Toyota AFL live site hosting events every day of the Grand Final week. On Grand Final Eve, the two competing teams will be presented to the public at the Toyota AFL Grand Final Parade. And as everyone would be well aware in recent years, the AFL has sought on Grand Final Day to recognise the greats and the heroes of our history in some of the key roles in September. And this year, we will invite two former greats of the competing Grand Final teams to be on hand on Grand Final Day to present the Premiership Cup to the winning team. But unlike in previous years, these two people will be announced on Grand Final Day, so we'll be keeping that a closely guarded secret until the day itself. As has been our custom for several years now, we invite a former Premiership coach to present the Jock McHale Medal to the coach of the winning team. And we are honoured that Tony Jewell is here to join us today. Tony, of course, led Richmond to its last premiership in 1980, 32 years ago. Who would have thought? And we are delighted that he has accepted the role of presenting the McHale Medal to the Premiership coach on Grand Final Day. Welcome to you, Tony. Now, Tony's made the trip here from Sandringham, which is not too far for him, but distance has prevented two other key people from joining us here today. The presenter of the prestigious Norm Smith Medal will be West Coast Dean Kemp, who starred in the club's 1994 win over Geelong. Dean lives in southwest Western Australia, some 3 hours out of Perth, so a day trip to Melbourne wasn't really feasible for him today, but I am delighted to say that he will be with us on the last Saturday in September. If Dean is in the far west of Australia, it's only appropriate we recognise and we represent the north of Australia. And I'm delighted to say that the Mercurial and the great Malcolm Blight, living these days in Palm Cove, playing golf, sun-tanning, has accepted the role to present the John Coleman Medal to this year's winner, Richmond's Jack Revolt. Malcolm kicked the ton for the Kangaroos in his last year in the VFL in 1982, posting the century in the first semi-final on the same day that a young chap named Dermot Brereton debuted for the Hawks. Not to mention that he ran through me that day, it's something I won't forget. Let's look at some of the memories of our three presenters on a video.
It's not over yet. Not over yet. What drama here at Princes Park. Malcolm Blight, it's a big kick. It's a bonus kick. Richmond coach Tony Jewell.
They lifted Tony Jewell high and went off to celebrate their 10th premiership and the first of a new decade.
Premiership Cup, of course, is the prize that everyone is seeking. And I can formally announce that Geelong Cats Premiership captain, Cameron Ling, joins us as the AFL's official ambassador for the Premiership Cup for the month of September. Cameron, of course, retired last year as a triple Premiership player and a great captain of the side that defeated Collingwood. All of our key awards, the Coleman Medal, the Norm Smith Medal, the NAB Rising Star Medal, the Brownlow Medal, the Jock McHale Medal, and of course the Premiership Cup are made for us by Cashers. I couldn't help but notice this year when someone purported to be putting up a new Premiership Cup and got a cheap article in one of our newspapers suggesting that this is a Premiership Cup that we were considering. To my shock horror, completely untrue, because we're never ever going to leave Cashers. Cashers make our most prized football possession and have been doing it for a number of years, and I'm really proud to welcome back James Slater of Cashers to the stage. Thank you for that, James. I now want to direct our attention to the grand final day itself, because it will be very, very different this year, so let's throw to a video. A very, very different feel this year. And it starts off by the AFL, in conjunction with the clubs, providing 5,000 additional seats to the teams who are competing in the grand final. And for the first time this year, there will be devoted musical performance into the centre of the ground at half-time. The crowd will get to hear the Temper Trap, an Australian band who have received critical and commercial success internationally following their worldwide hit Sweet Disposition. The Temper Trap are supporting Coldplay, possibly the biggest band in the world later this year. And they are originally from Melbourne and are returning home to their roots to play. In addition, Australian music legends Paul Kelly and Tim Rogers will play during the pre-match program. And then the Temper Trap and Paul Kelly will play a free encore performance at the post-match Premiership Party event at the MCG. This year, Grand Final Day and the Halftime Music Act is the culmination of a season-long focus on Australian artists performing at AFL matches. And the example I'll give you is Live at the Footy initiative, the ACDC brand campaign. Australian music at all AFL events. What a great way to celebrate Australia. Australian music for Australia's game. Our choice of music act this year is also a direct reflection of fan feedback, which has overwhelmingly told us that fans want Australian music. I just want to walk you through a couple of the grand final format changes on the day. The build-up to the grand final will include fan activities in and around the MCG, and of course the Melbourne CBD. TAC Cup players, AIS squad and NAB Auskick presentations, the Life Broker Mark and Origin Goal of the Year presentations, the Gillette Grand Final Sprint, the Grand Final team warm-ups, the traditional motorcade featuring retired players, and performances, of course, by Paul Kelly and Tim Rogers. At half-time, the Temper Trap will perform a devoted show in the middle of the MCG throughout the half-time break. And this will be a bigger production than previous years, and the sound will be absolutely fantastic. And post-match, something very, very different. The Premiership Party will see free public entry to the MCG via Gate 3 from 6 p.m. for a live concert featuring Paul Kelly and the Temper Trap, followed by a presentation of the 2012 AFL Premiership to the AFL Premiers. A number of fans will be granted access to the ground itself, with the remaining fans located in the Great Southern Stand. What a fantastic way to complete the season. The Premiership Cup being presented on the MCG, the People's Ground, with our fans being able to participate. I now will I get great pleasure in asking my next guest to come forward. It's great to see him here, it's great to see him healthy. We love having you back. Molly Meldrum, please come forward.
Yeah, it's exciting this year. The fact that it is Australian performing at the MCG on that amazing day. And as Andrew pointed out, when you've got Paul Kelly, who is just not just a legend for Australia, but he's a legend, an iconic imprint on Australia and its music over the last 100 years. Without a doubt, one of the best songwriters ever. Timmy Rogers, a good mate, and we've been to some footy here before, Tim and I won't tell Andrew what we got up to because I would not be allowed to go to any of the final matches, and I just don't want to be banned. I'm not going to go to the final matches. I might point out, though, that my enthusiasm is still rampant at the moment for the finals because, as Andrew pointed out, on Saturday there'll be two matches, and I'm looking forward to the second final, which is being held here, and that's with Jewell and Fremantle. And I know I sound like a bitter old queen or whatever I may sound like, but I could not stand if Fremantle, Ross Lyons or Zach Dawson win a final on the MCG. So the shock of shocks, I rang my good mate Daryl Summers, who I've had many fights with, here at the MCG, out at Geelong, about Geelong and St Kilda. But boy, go Cats, that's all I can say on that one. And Temper Trap, without a doubt, one of the most rising talents we've seen here for a while. Not only in Australia, but in America, Europe. They're an extraordinary young band. They will give you great entertainment at half time. And I'm so happy that, that as Andrew's pointed out, that it's all Australian. No offence to Lionel, no offence certainly to Lionel. And Meatloaf, I think his voice is still here somewhere, I don't know where it is. Wasn't used on the day, but it'll be here somewhere, right? Meanwhile, while I'm looking for Lionel's, for a Meatloaf's voice, I'll also look because 50 years of your association, of this amazing cup trophy for what it may be, is a long time, right? So maybe I can talk to you and we come to some arrangement that in 2016, it'll be 50 years since the Saints ever won a grand final. So can we maybe sort of just, can I come and engrave it as best of luck for that year? Look, no doubt, we all love the finals, we love the grand final. And I must congratulate Andrew for what he's done, and his staff and his team have done for AFL, because when you go worldwide and you're in New York or you're in LA and even in London a couple of weeks ago at the Olympics, when people in the street, be in Piccadilly, being out at the stadium itself, being in the mall, watching the running down there, people would see you go Saints and all of that. It's something in our psyche, it's something we love, and Andrew, you've done an amazing job. So have a great grand final day, and enjoy Tim and Paul and Temper Trap. And it's great about the party after the grand final itself, and who's going to win it? Who knows? It's still up in arms, you know. I must admit that apart from security, because you've got to do something else, right? And I do have, I've sort of come out of the closet a couple of times, because there are a couple of closet ones I really like, and that is Buddy for Hawthorn and Nui over in West Coast. So, God, if it's that day, it could be an amazing, amazing grand final. And finally, to use It's a Long Way to the Top, and the Brentley way you've done that, Andrew, is so fitting to us and the grand final and AFL. The fact is that the song was written down here. It was the video, one of the most famous in the world, was in fact shot down here. A film it was at Swansea Street, going past the town hall, and it has been a long way to the top for all teams to get to a grand final. But bring on the grand final, and may it be a great, great day.
This is what both AFL Grand Final teams for 2012 will be playing for on the last day of September. The 2012 AFL Premiership Cup. Will it be Hawthorn, Collingwood, Adelaide, Sydney, West Coast, North Melbourne, Geelong, Fremantle? I don't know. But over the next 4 weeks, we will find out which two teams will be playing for this.